As always, it's an honor to be here and participating in the democratic process. Please read the background section of the petition that I submitted yesterday. There's a written petition. Over 300 signatures that Maui Causes is submitting to you today, and will continue to collect petition signatures. It reflects on council minutes that clearly show that the intention of the 2015 upcountry water bill was always to benefit only families on the upcountry water meter wait list. Instead, somehow, unbeknownst to apparently everybody, the language that got inserted into Title 18's existing roadway exemptions was the simple sentence fragment, 2-lot subdivisions, with no mention of the families on the upcountry water meter wait list. And so commercial developers island-wide are receiving what are essentially secret roadway exemptions. A and B got one for a 1,200-acre parcel south of Puunene and Dairy Road. Dozens more commercial exemptions have already been given. Snorkel Bob got one for a commercial subdivision on Front Street. That's not a family on the upcountry water meter wait list. And there are perhaps hundreds more in the subdivision pipeline. So just like the 3-lot or less subdivision deferral agreements that were never collected on since 1974, once again, hundreds of millions of dollars of developers' obligations are being shifted onto the backs of Maui taxpayers. Now, Mr. Guzman is calling for this secret giveaway to be removed. That's his motion here today, and Maui Causes agrees. It needs to be removed because it was done essentially secretly. Now, Ms. Beja said that the purpose of the 2015 water bill was to streamline the issuing of water meters to the premises, this is important, that directly front the department's existing water system, where it has been determined adequate. Where it has been determined adequate. Only the families that have frontage on existing capacity were to have received this exemption. It's being given island-wide, but the bill and all of the public discussions narrowly focused it, so narrowly focused it that it was only the families that had frontage on existing capacity. Now, me personally, I happen to live upcountry on Piaholo Road, and I've been on the upcountry water meter list since 2001. And suddenly, I was number 68. Now I'm number 8. And they've offered me a water meter. But there's no capacity on Piaholo Road. There's just a small 2-inch pipe. So how are they offering me a water meter when there's no capacity? When they deliberated on the upcountry water meter bill, they identified those other people that do have capacity, but they never identified who doesn't have capacity. And in fact, reading the minutes of the upcountry water bill committee sessions, anytime anybody was asked, any of the directors or department heads were asked, do you have any numbers? Do you know the percentage of who's this and what permutations we have and what are we actually dealing with? They had nothing. They had done no research. They didn't understand the population. They didn't do an analysis of the various different zones that were impacted. Who has capacity? Who doesn't have capacity? Who needs a water meter? Who just needs additional fixtures? There's people on my block, they don't want a water meter. They just want a bathroom, and they can't do it. Because I'm low number on the list, after waiting for 16 years, I've been given just 30 days to pay thousands of dollars to actually purchase my water meter. Oh, thank you, it's at a price that was based on value back in 2001. So it's about $4,000 instead of $15,000. Thanks, that was a nice thing. But I have to pay that $4,000, or else I will forever lose any chance that I have of being able to subdivide my 5 acres into 2 lots. Roll me over if you would.
Yep, next item.
Forgive me, it's all kind of conjoined. They're telling me that before I can install the meter that I'm forced to pay for, or else I have to go away. The only way for me to stay in the game is for me to pay the money. I'm paying it for a water meter that I can't install unless, what they're telling me, that I, exclusively me, must upgrade the water main that runs in front of 18 other properties on my street. So all of those other properties will be affected by me. They will all benefit by me, and the cost that I've researched, the bid that I got to do that work is $1.5 million. So for me to actualize the water meter that I don't think that they should even be offering me today, because it's not my responsibility to pay $1.5 million to upgrade all of Puunene Road. That's not my job. That's the job of an assessment district. That's how these things get done in the real world. You spend the time and you look at the capacity, you look at how much water is available, you look at the community's needs. There are companies that do this on a professional basis. You don't even, it doesn't even have to be tasked to the water department, which is understaffed. All of this stuff, every other municipality that I know of, they farm this stuff out to consulting companies that specialize in creating assessment districts. There are formulas and best practices mechanisms that are designed to handle these kinds of situations. The county can underwrite the financing of it over time. The community can pay it back in installments spread into their taxes over time.
Mr. Small, I'm going to have to ask you to get to one of your other 2 items. Because I think what you're testifying on is still on Mr. Guzman's.
Totally
item,
understand.
So, thank you.
Well, that aspect is related to the transfer of funds out of the water fund into the general fund. So I don't, know the specifics of that, but if there's a potential for...
Not exactly, but...
Well, it says transfer and or loan water fund to general fund. So there's a potential there for water money, which could be going to improve the water supply on Puunene Road. Somehow that's being diverted somewhere else. My water meter, what I pay for my water meter, is it actually going to be for water or is it for something else? But moving on.
If you could move on to, I believe it's 286.
So now, water, of course, is an enormous and precious resource on Maui, and the mechanics behind water distribution are extraordinarily complex. That the mayor has made a politically driven appointment of a water director, and this is not a personal thing. No matter who the person is in our community, the mayor has appointed someone as the water director who has no engineering background. How does that serve this community? It's an extremely complex issue to be dealing with. And now I'm stuck with, here I am, calling attention to the upcountry water meter a bill in 2015 that didn't anybody read the language that Corporation Council inserted into Title 18? Did everybody miss it? Chair, I asked you years ago, did you know if the 2-lot subdivision exemption was being issued island-wide? You said no. You didn't know that. All of the council members I've spoken to said that they didn't know that was going on. Did the chair of water not know that was going on? I'm speechless. How if the chair of water didn't know that, didn't pay attention, was the whole thing intentional? Was the upcountry water bill actually designed not really to deal with the families of upcountry, but to manufacture this secret 2-lot subdivision exemption? Were we all snookered that the entire process never was designed to achieve its stated goal, but it was all subterfuge? And then I have to go to this director now and negotiate. I'm here as a community whistleblower, and yet I have to personally deal and be personally affected by someone who I'm essentially calling out. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. I'm trying to do the right thing for the community, and I pray that you folks do the same. We need assessment districts. They'll fix Hui Road too. You can fix the Hui Road debacle with assessment districts as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Small.
Thank you.